Hey everyone, this is Brett Wheelis. Welcome back to another episode of the Built on Truth podcast. Today my guest is Adam Aguirre. He was diagnosed with Guillain-Barré Syndrome October 20th, 2021. And his struggle, his story is incredibly powerful. So Adam, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I'm Adam Aguirre, 41-year-old husband of two amazing boys, a beautiful wife, huge family, friend to many, brother to a lot. What I mean by that is just I'm a people person. I love to meet anybody from a walk of life, whether you're in the United States, in a different country. I'm just a guy who has a goal of one day meeting everybody in the world. I know it's going to be very difficult to do, but it's always a blessing to hear other people's stories and seeing what they've gone through in their life. Because just when you think you have it bad, someone out there has it worse than you do.
Truly, what a perspective. I have to say, one of the most powerful things when we first met, I've worked with a number of motivated, successful people. And so we met back in 2022, and your desire, your will, and your steadiness, your focus was unlike anything I have ever seen before. I've worked with a number of CEOs, uber successful real estate, AI, software CEOs and business people, and your tenacity was unparalleled. Can you go into that a little bit about how that developed for you?
Yeah, I mean, when being at rock bottom and, being on a ventilator, fighting for my life, opened my eyes a lot to it. And then it really brought me back to a lot of the amazing people that I've encountered in my life. Like you said, from brothers and sisters to CEOs, doctors, professional athletes. And there's a lot of cliches that I really love to use in life now because they come to fruition. And that's always been, talent beats talent when talent doesn't want to work. So I kind of learned that, hey, I'm so motivated because I've seen some of these people, whether you're a professional athlete at the highest level, once you get there, that next athlete's just as big, as strong, as fast as you. But what's going to push them over the top? It's that mental aspect of it. How do you get through that? How do you push your body to the brink? And for me, I've always been like, all right, let's do a little more, one more rep. It might not be, 225 on the bench press at 15, 16 times, but just the chance to let me get in the ring. I'm the guy that wants the ball at the 1 yard line because I'm not afraid to fail. I can handle the pressure. I like to lead the team, and I get that fire in me. And maybe having some friends that played in baseball or football, and you hear their cliches of, hey, when you're under pressure, how do you handle it? And I think being a guy who loves football, Andy Reid once said, Andy Reid once said, when times are grim, be the Grim Reaper. Why not be that guy? Like, how could you not face that and go, okay, who's going to be the guy with me? And for me, with my experiences, I want to be in the foxhole with you when that grenade's coming, because I know together we can do this.
Let's go. Oh man. So tell us a little bit about your GBS adventure from start to finish. I know we have talked about it, but for our listeners out there who may or may not be familiar with Guillain-Barré.
Absolutely. So October 29th of 2021, COVID was going on. So we were kind of stuck in that bubble, whenever the world stopped and everybody was at home wondering what's next. We're trying to figure out. So there was a lot of remote working. I was at home working on my laptop and at my desk, kind of felt like the warm feeling in the wrist of the carpal tunnel almost. And I'm like, something's not right. And I couldn't figure out what it was. Got up and tried to tough it out. I'm a strong macho guy. I can, I'm just a computer worker. So I can at least, walk it off. Took a break. Didn't think anything of it. That night, we went up to the church by our house, and they had some activities for our son, our oldest at the time. He was 3, and my wife had just given birth to our youngest, and he's roughly 5 or 6 months at the time. But up there, if you can remember American Gladiator, they had the jousting sticks. So you would hold those and you'd be on the pod against somebody. So my oldest, as I mentioned, we tried to get up there, and I noticed when I tried to grab the stick, I can only go about halfway. I'm like,
couldn't grip it.
Couldn't totally. I'm like, oh man, my hands something's not right. So he's only 3. I'm of course, I'm his dad. I'm going to rough him up a little bit, but I couldn't get a full grasp on it. And I thought, man, something's not right with my hands. And we went home. Thought, all right, I'll just sleep it off. Woke up in the middle of the night to try to go to the restroom. And I get out of bed and I put my feet down, and it's kind of like numb and, weird feeling. Like what's going on? All right, maybe I just slept weird and my foot's asleep. Okay, whatever. Walk over to the restroom and do my thing. And I go to put my hands under the sink to wash them. And I put my hands right under, and it felt like boiling water. I thought, wow.
Cold water?
Cold water. But it felt like, it felt like I had just put my hand in a hot pot and you're boiling corn. I'm like, whoa, that was what's going on? I look back on it. I'm like, that was the cold. Is something wrong with our water heater? It's like, okay, well, that was weird. And I'm kind of got that slow walk where if you sit on the toilet too long, your feet fall asleep. I'm like, this is not a good feeling. I'm going to hopefully wake up in the morning and feel better. Woke up in the morning, still same thing. And I told my wife, I said, Lindsay, this something's wrong about me. I'm going to head over to the urgent care around the corner.
What's in your mental state at this point? Are you getting nervous? Are you just you're like, oh man, I ate some bad dish or something?
Yep. Just thought maybe I slept on my arm or my leg, or, it's just maybe a circulation thing. When I think it was 38 at the time, just, you're unbreakable. You're not getting old. Just tough it out. So I get into the urgent care, and the physician in there gives me the stethoscope, and she's hammering me in the knee. She's like, do you feel that? I said, absolutely. She goes, you're not reacting. I'm like, I'm not holding back. And okay, are you sure you're okay? I'm like, I feel perfectly fine. I can feel you hitting me, and that hurts. So she's like, all right, that's weird. You're getting no reaction.
But your knee wasn't kicking.
Did not kick. Just leg, just right there. So she's like, okay, well, let's take some blood from you. Took some vials of blood. She told me, this is a Saturday. We're going to have to send this off. We most likely won't have your lab results till Monday or Tuesday because we're not a hospital. We have to send them off. Sure. Thought nothing of it.
This is urgent care.
Urgent care.
Right.
Right around the corner from my house, maybe a mile or two. Drove myself home. Thought, oh man, this is weird. What's going on? That night, we're getting ready to go to a Halloween party. And we're getting the kids in the car. And we're going to my sister-in-law's house. Probably about a 30-minute drive. I told my wife, I'm like, I really don't feel comfortable driving. I'll sit in the back seat with the kids. And you have to remember, I have a 3-year-old and 5-6-month-old. So I'm messing with the kids in the back, thinking nothing of it. Just being a dad, just trying to get them from not fighting with one another. The baby's screaming. Everybody's in a costume. So it's Halloween. You're in the good spirits. So we're driving down the freeway. I'm playing with the boys and doing my thing. And all of a sudden, I'm sitting in the middle seat and my back just kind of goes out. I'm like, okay, Lynn, something's not right. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, oh, my back just went out. Like
you just fell over, leaned over.
Leaned over. I had a seapelded on, but
Could you get back up?
I did slowly, but it was just weird, almost like a shock. Like if you slipped a disc, you kind of like, ooh, that didn't feel right. And I'm like, okay, well, tough it out, dude.
Was it pain? Was there?
It was painful. It was like you get hit in the back and just hit a disc, and you just kind of fell forward.
Okay, but you're just sitting there.
I was just sitting in the back of the car in the middle seat between a 5-month-old in a car seat and a booster seat. You're sitting there doing your thing, being a dad. I'm like, all right, this is kind of weird. So we get to the destination, and this is my sister-in-law's house. My mother-in-law is a retired nurse. I'm struggling to try to get through the door. She sees me immediately. She's like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm fine. She's like, no, you're always fine. You're unbreakable. So she's like, no, I'm taking you to the hospital right now. I'm like, no, I don't need that. That's okay. Trying to be a macho tough guy. But she knew, mothers have that instinct of something is never right with a child. It's just the power of a woman. They all have it. Not to say that men don't, but women, to me, have that special love.
The instinct.
It's just a motherly instinct that men don't have. So she takes me to the hospital. I'm like, gosh, I'm going to miss this party. I'm dressed up. My newborn son, I can't see his first Halloween. They're going to go do these trick-or-treating things that I really want to do. Of course, I don't get to. We get to the hospital. She drops me off. She's like, okay, you got to go check yourself into the ER. And again, this is COVID. I can only go in by myself. So I get out of the car, and I'm kind of struggling to walk. Like, body's kind of,
Like you feel like your feet are in cement,
it's
like
just,
picking your feet up, like
it's
you
just
bent
not
over.
moving. No, like I'm not moving. I'm like in slow motion is how I feel. So I'm getting closer to the door and I kind of start stumbling, shutting down.
Or at this point, are you getting what's going through your head? You're like, man, I'm okay, I'm good, I'm
I'm,
I'm still unbreakable.
I'm still unbreakable. It's me. There's nothing wrong. I just don't know what this is. I'm trying to go
Hmm.
and it doesn't go. What's going on? Nurse comes out, puts me in a wheelchair, asks me if everything's okay. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I feel fine. I don't know what's going on. And right when I get into the wheelchair, you're sitting in an ER with peak COVID, with people with masks. You're sitting around, you're stuck everywhere. So I was more so upset that I'm missing everything. And mentally, I felt fine. Physically, I just couldn't figure out what was going on. I sat in the ER for about 2 hours. They finally get me in there. I'm like, gosh, thankfully that nothing's too bad if it took this long to get in. They take me back. First thing they say is, hey, we need to do a lumbar puncture on you. And you might be thinking, what's a lumbar puncture? For that, they told me this is the men epidural. I'm like, I don't know what that means, but my wife's had a baby, so you're going to stick that big needle in my back? Like, yeah, we're going to pinch this into your back. We're going to try to extract some of the fluid in your spinal cord. I'm like, okay, now I was scared. I don't like needles. I'm not a needle person. I don't have tattoos. I do not like them. So I'm laying there on the bed, just face up, like, okay. They sit me upright. They put the stuff on the back of my back, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is going to be brutal."
Are you calling your wife at this point?
I
You're
know.
like, hey, so you didn't have time.
I didn't have time. They don't allow me to just sit there and make phone calls. It's a hospital. It's not a resort.
Right.
So they're trying to figure out what's going on. They come in, extract the fluid from me, and it was cool. They showed me this jar, and I've never seen spinal fluid before. I'm not a medical professional. I'm a regular guy. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, that's pretty neat. It looks like water. It's super clear. Doctor said, yeah, no, it's a good thing. It's very clear. What he's looking for, any type of like flakes. Thinking, what type of flakes are you looking for? This is so weird. Now they take it off, run tests on it. So I'm laying there in the bed by myself, nobody there. My wife then, now I can actually make a phone call, and she's asking me what's going on because it was hours that have gone by that I just sat in the waiting room. We get back to it. I'm like, I don't know. I think I'm going to be here all night. I feel fine. I'll keep you updated. As you know, when you're in the ER, it's never short, quick, and easy. So they said the next thing we want to do is we want to take you in for a CAT scan. We want to scan your brain. We want to look for any spotting or any tumors. So I'm thinking, do I have MS? Like, what is this? What's going on? Waiting in hours to try to get into the CT scanner. Like I said, this is all COVID. So they take me outside in the middle of the night, probably around 2 a.m., throw me in this giant machine. It's freezing outside.
Oh, because of COVID.
Because of COVID. The machines are outside.
And it's October.
It's about 2 a.m. So I'm freezing, and I've never had a CAT scan, MRI. I've never broken a bone. I've never had any type of surgery. So I think I'm okay. I'm like, wow, this is a first for everything. The machines are super loud. They're like, just stay there quietly and relax your mind. I can't relax my mind. I'm having these weird thoughts. Am I dying? Is there a tumor? Is there something wrong with my spinal cord? Am I having a heart attack? What is it? So they run all these tests, hold me in there. They say, hey, we got to admit you because we got to figure out what's going on. The next morning, I did have the ability to get up. I'm like, all right, well, I can't just sit here. I'm not the type of person that can just sit still. I'm always fidgeting. I'm always trying to do something. So I get up, pace, walk back and forth to the doors a couple times. Thought nothing of it. Sat around the next day. I'm like, hey, can I get up and do my walks? They're like, sure. I'm like, oh, this is kind of weird. I can't really move as fast. And what's going on? The doctor's like, well, we don't know what's going on with you. We're trying to monitor you. It's like, okay, well, I'm feeling fine. Next day, like, I can't really like completely move, guys. I'm starting to lose feeling in my legs.
So this is
day 3.
You've been in the hospital, in the ER for 2
days.
2 days. You do 2-hour waiting, and then you're like the next morning you go to the CAT scan, they do the men epidural. And so you're there. You're
there.
in bed. You're just laid up. Can you like move your legs at this point?
I can move my extremities. I'm fine. I can communicate. I can talk. I'm just sitting there like, what in the world? Can anybody please tell me, because I'm just confined to this hospital. I really want to go home. I remember calling my buddies. One had a 40th birthday party. I'm talking to my buddy. I'm like, I'm so sorry, man. I'm in the hospital. He's like, wait, what? I'm like, oh, yeah, don't worry. I'll be fine. He's like, you've been in the hospital for how long? I'm like, 2 days. Don't worry. I'll be back to work on Monday. And they're like, okay, this is weird. You sure you're okay? I'm like, yeah, sure. I'm fine. So this starts getting worse and worse. And the doctors are like, hey, we got to take you back in. Because now, like I said, it's about up to my waist. So I can't walk. So I'm like, this is something's really, really wrong. I had a great neurologist. He was like, hey, I got to go home and I got to study this because I don't know what's going on. I'm like, what do you mean you got to study this? Like, you're a doctor. Don't you guys know everything? Of course not. You know, they don't know everything because everybody is different. So he was amazing to me, but he was saying, hey, look, we're going to have to, take you in the back and give you what's called IVIG. I'm like, okay, cool. Whatever that is, let's do it. Whatever you think you need to do, you just do what you need to do.
At this point, has anybody mentioned Guillain-Barré?
No.
So how common is Guillain-Barré? Is it like a super ultra rare? Like people just don't, I mean, it sounds like he's an awesome neurologist and he's probably seen a lot of cases, but he has to go home and study. So I'm guessing it's not that familiar.
I don't believe it's that familiar. From the professionals who I've spoken to, it's about 1 every 400,000 people. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like the numbers are growing. So I don't know why or how, but that's the word that I got from him. Problem was, this guy was going on vacation for 10 days. So in my mind, I'm like, wait a minute. You sound like an amazing professional and you do have a life. I do understand. You can't leave me for 10 days. Like, I'm trusting you with my life. Can't hand me off to somebody, please. So now my brother, my mom, and my wife are scrambling. Like, what do you mean? You don't know. It could be, he was calling it A-man. I'm not familiar with the medical terms on it because I'm not a doctor. It's like, I think it's this, but it could be that. I'm like, okay.
Is it associated with Lou Gehrig's disease? And what would be the closest?
I do not believe so. ALS is different from GBS. So GBS, from what I'm told, is a virus. It's not a disease.
Virus.
So what happens is we have the myelin sheath around our nerves. It attacks that and deteriorates it to where the nerves are exposed. There's no protection around it. So if you took an electrical cord, remember the big orange extension cords your dad would use in the back? If you stripped that, there's wires upon wires underneath it. Every individual wire does something. That's how our bodies function. So it's not going to pop up on an X-ray or a CAT scan to say, hey, I can read your nerves. Doctors can't do that. They're very great at their job, but it's just not something that pops up. So we have to figure out what it is. Once we get to that, they're like, hey, we're going to have to do something fast. IVIG, because this is getting bad. If this hits your diaphragm, we're in big trouble. I'll lose the ability to start to breathe. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Yeah. I'm just kind of laying there like, just want to go home. I'm tired of this place. I don't want to do anything. They're like, hey, we got to move you from this room into a different room. I'm like, okay, yeah, cool, whatever. This is going to be fine. Not the case. They roll me out of my bed and they take me back into this room that's completely confined, almost like you would see on CSI, people in hazmat suits, just all glass room. And it's a square box. I'm like,
what's going through your mind?
Then I'm freaking out. I'm like, okay, why are you taking me there? What's going on? Like, I don't need the guy with the white hoodie and the mask and everything and the big gloves coming in, almost like a Homer Simpson at work look-alike. I'm like, I don't know. This isn't right. So we get back there and then we start talking about all these different things. We're talking about intubation. And I'm like, doctor,
intubation, what is that for?
So intubation is because if it hits my diaphragm and I lose the ability to breathe, they have to put me on a ventilator. Mm-hmm. I do not have the ability to breathe on my own. My body will shut down. If it hits my diaphragm, my lungs, I won't pump oxygen. So I'm thinking to myself, all right, this is it. I don't know what's going on. Like, please hurry this up. If I don't have the ability to breathe, I'm going to be in big trouble. Go back in this hazmat biosuit room. They're like, hey, you haven't gone to the bathroom in a while. I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that. So as a guy, it's just not things you think of. They're like, we're going to come in here and we got to make you go to the bathroom. I'm thinking, sure, give me some X-Lax and I'll knock it out for you. It's not the case. So they're like, all right, we're going to put a bedpan underneath you. I don't know if you noticed, not the biggest, heaviest, most muscular guy. So to throw a bedpan underneath you and someone to make you go to the bathroom on your own with their assistance, it's a wake up call.
Oh my goodness. So literally like 3 days ago, you're walking, you're going to church.
Going to church. I was going to Halloween parties.
And so now all of a sudden you have somebody picking you up, and
now I'm getting hit with an enema because I haven't gone to the bathroom in a couple days. So they kind of force you to. From here, we're getting closer to where the doc's got to leave. My wife and my brother are just scrambling, trying to figure out what's going on. My wife had a colleague who worked at another hospital and said, hey, we really would like you to get your brother over here. And, we really like to get your husband over here because I think we can do something that hospital can't. So my wife and my brother, my mom huddled and said, hey, we're going to have to move out of, you're going on vacation, which we understand. But this hospital offers another thing that's called plasmapheresis. It's another alternative to stop the GBS from moving its way up. This hospital didn't have the ability to do so, so they transferred me.
So now you're a guy. 3 days ago, you're riding in the car with your kids. You're in the back seat. All of a sudden now, fast forward, you're in this dark room, hazmat suits, people looking like they're handling plutonium, and you're like, what is going on? This is the IVIG.
So the IVIG,
what is that?
So it's, from what I'm told, it attacks the GBS from like
is it an injection or a machine?
It's an injection. It's not a machine. It's like they put it in a bag. I have IVs in me constantly.
Okay.
So they're giving me, I want to say they're antibodies. So they're attacking the antibodies to stop the GBS.
And you're not a medical professional.
I'm not.
Just like, this is zero, what I think.
This is what living in a hospital does.
Yeah.
I hear the terms.
Yeah.
I have zero medical background. I'm not a PhD.
Right.
So when I hear the terms, I'm like, I don't know what that means. What are you guys doing? So they're injecting me with these antibodies to counter the virus from moving its way up.
Yeah.
So we get to that. My wife has a friend at UC San Diego Hospital who says, I'd really like to help your husband in this situation because we can offer what's called plasmapheresis. Plasmapheresis, to me, is almost like a dialysis treatment where they extract the fluids from you and pump you with new stuff. So I don't know if I have my flu shot vaccines, COVID vaccines. I don't know what's left in me because they take that stuff out and they try to filter in the new ones to try to counter what's exactly going on. So with them having the ability, we transferred hospitals. Now I'm sitting here in a new hospital thinking to myself, all right, cool. We're going to do another one of these rounds of treatments.
You can't walk at this point.
No.
So
the first thing they say is we're going to need to intubate you.
At the new hospital. Got it.
Again, I've never gone under for any type of anesthesia. I've only seen the birth of my 2 kids. I don't know anything about these medical terms. I'm like, all right, yeah, cool. Let's see. I can remember the anesthesiologist coming in and say, hey, I'm going to give this to you, count back from 10, and you're going to fall asleep. I'm like, no way. 1, 2, or 10, 9. I was out.
Mm-hmm.
I was completely out. And I thought to myself, all right, cool. When I wake up, I'm going to be fine. I wake up and I'm just laying there under this light. And I'm thinking to myself, oh man, I'm so glad I'm awake. Problem is, I can't talk. And that's what the tracheotomy is for. So this goes into the neck to pump fluid, to pump air into me. I had stuff in my nose, stuff in my neck, stuff in my arms, stuff in my stomach. And you have to imagine you come out of anesthesia looking up at the ceiling, no ability to talk and no ability to move. So I was not in a coma, never medically or physically, however else you can get into a coma. And I'm standing there. I'm sorry. However you get out of a coma, and I'm laying there just looking straight up at a ceiling in a hospital thinking, what the heck is going on? So I go into this room, there's doctors, there's nurses, CNAs, LVNs, learned a lot of different professionals with no ability to speak. They're turning me, they're poking me, they're pricking me.
How many people are in the room?
No, not 10. No. Maybe 5.
Okay.
Because I'm being admitted to a new room. They have to get you situated, make sure your vitals are going, and they're hooking you up to everything. But you have to imagine, you're laying there as stiff as a board, just looking up. You can't say anything to them. 9 times out of 10, I'd be the kind of person, hi, what's your name? I'm Adam. and I'm in my head, I'm talking, but I'm not talking through my mouth. So I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? I'm just stuck inside of my own head. What am I doing here? What's going on? So that's when we initiated the plasmapheresis. So it's probably a couple hour treatment, but I have to do 5 days trial of it. And at that time, I could only have 2 people in the hospital visit me, period. Keep in mind, this is 2021. COVID's massive.
What day is this? This is November 4th, 5?
Maybe beginning of November. Let's call it November 5th. I can look it up if we need to. But it's the beginning of November, and I'm no idea what's going on. I can remember people, my mom, my brother, and my wife would just come in, not at the same time, individually, just crying over, like looking at me in fear. And all I want to do is just say, hey, I'm fine. I'm right here. Like I can hear you guys, but I can't move. So I'm thinking to myself, what the world do I need to do? And I had a lot of nights of darkness, real dark nights. I can't sleep because I don't know what's going on. You got beeping. You've got people coming in. Those are the medical professionals to take your blood pressure, look at you, what's going on. The doctors don't know. They're having powwows outside of the door. And all I want to do is ask, hey, what's the latest on me? But I can't. So you have to imagine I've probably been up for 72 hours in my own head. And I really wanted to just speak and just try to get something out. But you don't have the ability to. So there was a lot of times where I can remember just staring at the ceiling and just crying, thinking, is my life coming to an end? Is this it? Or is this going to be the rest of my life? Because I don't want to live this way. We're, weeks into this now, still in UCSD in the ICU. And I had many nights of where I just, like I said, just lay there and just hear all the beeping and all the different noises and people dying in rooms next to you and people coming in with gunshot wounds, heart attacks, surgeries, car accidents. And I'm thinking, am I the next one?
Oh my goodness. So you're in this point and you can't talk.
Nope.
So you can't pick anything up. You can't read. All you can do is sit there and you're trapped with your thoughts.
Correct.
Like that sounds to me like an unimaginable torture in regards to the fact you can't move, the fact you can't talk. You're helpless. You're caged in your mind. And so, and you're all these sounds, and it's like hospital's
it's not the place.
It's not a super joyful, positive place. You have death all around you. So you're like, is this it?
Yeah.
Am I going to, okay.
I'm paralyzed from the face down.
So you can't talk.
I cannot talk.
Can you blink?
I cannot move. I could blink.
So that's it.
That's all I could do. And they'd come in and put eye drops in you and check on you and put a sleep mask over my eyes. Hey, you need to get some sleep. I'm like, I'm not tired. I wish I could tell you I was tired, but you can't hear that. So at times you got to think, hey, you need to catch up and get some sleep. Imagine someone putting their eyes over your face. It wasn't physically. They would, put a mask on you to make sure you get some sleep, make the room dark. But if you're not tired, you're not going to bed.
Oh my goodness.
You're thinking the worst possible thoughts in your head.
And you can't.
I can't express that.
Communicate. You can't. Oh my gosh.
So we couldn't figure out what to do. I can't communicate with anybody. They're still in the very early stages of all this. So nobody in my family knows what's going on.
Is anybody saying GBS? Is anybody saying Guillain-Barré?
There's talks. We called it Guillain-Barré.
Guillain-Barré, yeah.
Because, we're not French.
Right.
We don't speak the language, the native tongue. But we're trying to figure out what it is. Nobody knows. My poor wife is taking a leave of absence from work. She's still feeding, her newborn child, trying to take care of a 3-year-old child and a husband who's on life support, and she has no idea what's going to happen next. I can remember, though, too, going back to having to talk with my brother before I was intubated. And it was one of those things that really brought like that love and that bond together. And I'll never forget, I told him, I'm glad this happened to me and not you guys. And I think he, forgive me, it's a bond of love that a brother's love you can't break. So it's very important in the story, to let them know, like, if it's going to be one person, let it be me, because I know I can battle.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think the other two can. And we're in this battle together, all of us. And I don't know where and how, but my brother Eric came up with this ability to communicate. I physically cannot speak, but we came up with vision boards. We came up with cheer posters. We put giant pictures on the wall of my family. My wife ordered a rotating photo album for my room, and we tried to make it homely because it was miserable. I was suicidal. I physically couldn't actually take myself out, but in my head I thought, God, don't let me live like this. Don't do this to my wife. Don't do it to my mom. Like, let me go. I can do it, and I'll be okay, because I know I'm one of those people with my relationship with God. Eternal life is there. It's real for me. And one day Eric came in with this giant poster, and he stood over me. He said, "We're gonna learn to communicate." I'm like, "Okay, dude. You know I can't talk, right?" And he said, "There is anything you want to say. Does it start with the letter on this word, on this row? Think about a computer keyboard." He wrote out letters, numbers, exclamation points, all types of symbols. And we sat there, and it was frustrating for a very long time to try to get out what I was trying to say. But we'd sit there, and he'd say, "Is the word that you're starting with, does it start with the letter in this row?" And as soon as we found the letter, he said, "Blank." And I'd hold my eyes shut. I'm like, "Okay, we can do this.
Mm-hmm.
We can get this out. You can see, I got it." But I think that's a brother's love, that he knew exactly what I wanted. And we got to that point to where, like, okay, I can get some stuff out now. My wife made flashcards. We're simple cards, simple things. I'm hot. Can you turn me? How are the boys? Can you read my text messages? Can you turn the lights off? Can you get me a blanket? So day would start. Hey, standard cards. How we feeling today? What's going on? I'm like, okay, we can do this. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking I'm dying still, but I'm trying to get out as much as I can. And I'll never forget, I was probably laying in the bed for 2.5, 3 weeks without getting out. And the doctor said, "We need to start physical therapy on you. You're coming back." I'm like, I can't move, right? I'm like, all right. So I had 2 physical therapists come in, pick me up. I mean, I'm not a big guy at all, and I probably lost 50 pounds. I'd have 50 pounds to lose.
So you're like 120.
Oh man, I'm like 100
pounds.
100 pounds and that's soaking wet if I'm lucky.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll never forget, I had my wife and my brother in the room, 2 physical therapists and a doctor. Like, "We're going to get you out of bed." I'm like, "No, you're not. I can't move. How are you going to get me up?" "Oh, they physically get you up. And if you've laid in bed for 3 weeks without moving, your muscles are tight. They're tight. I had bed sores on my bottom because you're not being rotated enough, and those are very dangerous to have. And I'm telling you, man, they picked me up, and I felt like Jesus on the cross, where I'm completely limp, and 2 people have got their one arm around me, heads like this. They're like, "Hey, you just got to stand and you got to stretch." I'm like, I can't move. What are you telling me? I got a trach in my neck. I got tubes everywhere.
Still can't talk.
I can't talk. So I'm just laying here, just limp. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like, in my own head, what are you guys saying? And they're like, "Oh, here's your wife. Give her a hug." I'm like, "God, all I want to do is give you a hug. It's all I want to do." And my wife just got this look of like, is this a ghost? What is going on? Is this going to be the rest of my life? And in the back of my mind, I was like, "God, don't do this to her. Don't just take me. Let me go." In the back, my brother had a picture of my 2 boys, and I just stopped. Just had the look. I'm like, "All right, you woke up the dog. Let's do this." He just stood there with my kids. I'm like, "I'm not letting my kids. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here. Let's go." Everything kicked in. Physically I couldn't talk, couldn't move, do all that. But something clicked in my mind. I'm like, "Okay, you can do this. This is going to be a long, long battle, but you're ready for it." Then, I was able to communicate with my family. I was able to start getting podcasts. I listened to Bedros Keuilian, Todd Durkin, Eric Thomas, all Tony Robbins, all these things. I can have music in there. Couldn't talk. all I could do was listen. And to truly learn how to listen. I love to talk. Trust me, I could do this all day. But to understand what people's words mean. And when you can find the meaning in the words and what they're trying to express to you, I'm sitting there thinking like, okay, this self-motivation stuff works. These Bible scriptures work. It's all there. I'm starting to get text messages from my pastor, Pastor Tony Jefferson. This is the baddest dude out there. He's giving me scripture and telling me, hey, look in Psalms. Eagles get their wings. You come running. I'm like, okay, I can do it. So I prayed and I gave everything. I gave everything into God, my faith. Thought, let's do this. Show me that you're real. I'm one of those people. Let me know you're real. I'm trying to do this on my own. You can't do it on your own. But I'm trying to just give it all, everything I can. And one night, I can remember, man, it was dark. It was a dark, dark night for me. They had injected me with all kinds of fentanyl, ketamine, all these different things that I just thought were recreational drugs that teenagers use and overdose on, and never heard of them in my life. I don't know what drugs are. I don't smoke. I don't drink. Just a regular guy. And I'm having all kinds of trips. I don't even know. I don't know what's going on. And I can remember this night vaguely because I'm laying there staring at the light. Eyes are heavy, hot, super hot. Like I can't breathe. I almost felt like I'm running up a mountain in Arizona in the summertime with no shoes, incline, giving it everything I can. I'm like, man, my lungs are burning, my body's aching. Like this isn't right. What's going on? I'm like, just kind of eyes are getting heavy. I can hear my machines going off. I'm like, oh, I'm dying. This is it. And I'm losing breath and eyes are getting heavy. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to make it. This is my time. Eyes are starting to shut. I'm like, okay, I can remember it. I'm like, Lindsay, I love you. Boyce, I love you. Eric, Daniel, I love you. I gotta go. This is it. Machines are going off, noises, everything. It's a hospital. I'm like, okay. Eyes go heavy. And I'm telling you, the room went the most beautiful white I've ever seen in my life. I can't explain this color. This is the most beautiful, picturesque thing you've ever seen in your life. And you keep in mind, I'm paralyzed from the face down. I can't talk. I can't move. And I'm laying there. I'm like, oh, wow. I'm in heaven. Here I go, God. Open these gates. And I'm starting to walk forward. And all of a sudden, these two picture-perfect, beautiful, hand-drawn wings appear. I'm laying in my bed. My bed comes upright. My bed maybe moved this much. Didn't fully sit up. Just elevated me a little bit. Machines are going off. Nurses throw open the door. Adam, are you okay? I'm laying there. I'm like, yeah, who moved my bed? I can't talk. I'm just looking at this. They're looking at me like, okay, you okay, okay? Standing over me, checking my eyes, doing everything that they can. I'm like, yeah. But I still, again, I'm talking to myself in my head. I'm not, no one's doing anything. Wow, that was amazing. You know, I'm like, God, you turned me around. You gave me a second chance on life. You gave me a purpose. So now that dog inside of me was proven to be real. And I thought, man, if I just saw what I just saw, let's take this to another level. You got cuts on you. You've been pressured. You've got heat. One of the most beautiful things in the world that we look at are diamonds. You know how ugly diamonds are when they come through the crust of the earth and how bad they are? But brother, I got cuts, clarity, character, pressure. I can handle it. I got the scars to prove it to you what beauty is, the beauty of life, the beauty to wake up on a daily basis, to hold your family, to walk through that door, to get to say I get to do things. I don't have to go to work. You get to go to work. I don't have to pick up my kids from practice. You get to pick your kids up. It's about your choices that you make. So once I learned, hey, I get to make that choice every day. This is called the present for a reason. What's the gift? It's the gift of life. It's not to say, hey, I don't have, or she did this. There's no excuses. This is your daily check-in to give everything you got. That's my job as a parent to show my boys, listen, there's no such thing as luck. It's when preparation meets the opportunity. You're going to get your opportunity. So now we prepare. And what are we preparing for? We're preparing for war. Because this battle right here, this is going to go a long time. I'm still at UCSD, starting to realize this. I'm like, all right, we're going. Let's give me it all. And forgive me. My brother had written a saying he put on the ceiling one day, and he came over and leaned over to me and just gave me the look of like, you need to get out of here. Okay, well, what is it? And I don't know if I'm able to give you some vulgarity, but I opened my eyes, and on the wall it said, get the f*** out of here.
It's a big sign posted on the ceiling.
Big sign, but that's all I could see.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm looking at that, first of all, I laughed. But I thought to myself, this is all I could do. So when you just stand there, when you just lay there and you look at that and you know that it's fight or flight, all you could do is fight. So I'm like, all right, let's do what we got to do. In my mind, I'm meditating. I'm singing songs in my head. I'd learned how to listen to what people had to say. They'd give you great words of wisdom. Podcast would give you that. The Bible has stories, something for you to just find within you. Where? I don't know. That's for you as the individual to find. I was at the darkest moment of my life and found my purpose of being a father. That's what I'm here for. So I thought I can either give up, which is easy. Everybody can give up. Or I can work and put in hard work. And that's what we started. Thinking to myself, all right, how do I do this? How do I do this?
What month is this right now?
This is still November.
Still November, end November?
Mid-November, or mid to end. I don't know the exact date.
Okay.
But I was in the ICU for 6 weeks.
Okay.
So I still have the ventilator. I'm thinking to myself, they're like, okay, now we have to move you to what's called a SNF. I'm like, what is a SNF? I don't know what that is. It's a skilled nursing facility. I have to learn how to get off this ventilator. So I got this thing in my neck that I can't get off. To go from this beautiful hospital of UCSD, state-of-the-art, everything that they have, to a skilled nursing facility is a wake-up call. They're not as nice. They're not as big. They're not as accessible. It's different. But thankfully, I had a great pulmonologist. I had a great team of doctors there. Great physical therapy. But now I'm got to learn how to breathe on my own. And I'm still paralyzed from the face down, but it's time. You can't stay at a hospital forever. You have to, insurance kicks in and other people need to come in. So I am getting progressively better, but not physically. My blood pressure is better. I'm medically, I'm passing. I'm getting a C. How about that? I'm not getting an A. I'm not going home yet. You're low C, but you have to really improve.
Near the SNF.
At the SNFs, skilled nursing facilities. So same thing, peak COVID, maybe have two visitors.
Spend Christmas there?
I missed my youngest son's first Halloween. I missed my wife's birthday. I missed my nephew's birthday. I missed my mom's birthday. I missed Thanksgiving. I missed Christmas. I missed New Year's. Everything that you can think of for the first of a child, I missed. So as a parent, and especially an active dad that's in my kids' lives on a daily basis, that hurt more than anything. The physical stuff, I don't mind physical pain. To not see my kids, oh man.
The moments.
The ability to hold them, the ability to change a diaper, the ability to assist, oh man, it breaks your heart.
Team player, yeah.
Team player. My wife did all the heavy lifting. I mean, the least I can do is contribute, my 10%.
Yeah.
She's feeding. She's waking up in the middle of the night.
And she's taking the boys to the hospital.
She's no. Okay. The boys are not allowed at the hospital.
Okay. So they didn't see you.
The boys did not. I never got to see my kids. So
you didn't want them to.
I would have loved to have. COVID didn't allow them to, but I had also written out to my wife if that was.
You wrote this before, at what point?
This is in probably December.
Okay.
So no, I did not want them to see me with the trach and everything. I would never want it to be the last image of my children for them to see me. Absolutely not. I would want them to think of dad as giggling, laughing, playing, jousting, No, my youngest obviously he was too young at the time to understand what's going on, but they just knew, my oldest knew that dad wasn't home.
Right. So you're at the sniff.
So I'm at the sniff.
So they're just trying to get you to breathe again.
They're
At
trying.
what point is walking? Because when we
way down the road.
Okay, so when we originally met, like mid late 2021, it's going to be, you're the worst GBS case we've ever seen, and you're going to have a hard time walking again. And they sounded pessimistic about it, but
Yes. I mean, it hits everybody differently, but from what the doctors told me, underneath the sheath, you have what's called the axion. So I'm getting hit the worst in every worst possible spot. And for me, I'm like, I don't know what any of this means. I'm tired of hearing this. And I'm going to remember we're getting close to Christmas. And I had started making goals for myself. And we wrote out on my vision board with my brother, what's your goal? I said, March 1st of 2022. I want to go home. This is December. Like, oh, that's an optimistic goal. I'm like, yeah, well, how long am I here? I just want to go home. So I'm in there. They're trying to teach you how to breathe on your own. Still, paralyzed from the face down. Can't really do anything. January 22nd of 2022. It's the first time I went outside in my wheelchair to feel sunlight. So from October 30th to January, I didn't even go outside. So I can remember them rolling me out past physical therapy and just let the sun hit me, just anything. I got to feel the sun hit my body, and oh man, it was beautiful. I heard, cars honking horn, people throwing garbage. I'm like, I can just remember crying and just soaking it all in, letting just nature and hearing the beauty of it, not hearing ventilators, not hearing beeping, not hearing call buttons, not hearing nurses scramble, not hearing ambulances come in and out, just letting life happen. Sitting out there just trying to do the best that I can. At this time, they're working with me on occupational therapy. Still don't have the ability to talk. I'm working off of all of our boards here. I've got, like I said, the best support system ever. I had a lot of family that would send text messages, send videos, and thank God for technology. I mean, having an iPhone, people would send me a text or a video, like, thinking of you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. You're going to get there. But I can remember right around the same time as Christmas, my buddy Jim, he's the best friend anybody could have. He showed up every day at the hospital. Had a Christmas tree there for me, a Festivus pole for, if
Seinfeld.
If you know Seinfeld.
For the rest of us. I got a lot of problems. You people are going to hear about it.
I never was a Seinfeld guy, but he brought a TV, and thank God for Netflix, because I had Seinfeld on 24/7 and learned a lot about Jerry and Kramer and a lot of stuff I'm behind on. So the support system there was a little different. They allowed a little more people to come in. But I can remember 2 nights of just having these dark moments. I remember I remembered perfectly that I had 2 buddies at the hospital. We're in a Taco Bell waiting room. I'm like, wait, what? This is later on. And I'm like, oh, this is the weirdest thing ever. It never happened.
Oh,
but I'm just tripping on I'm hallucinating on all these drugs that they're pumping into me.
Yeah. I
was like, I was in Hawaii with my brother, my wife, my mother-in-law, and we're at these. I'm like, what is going on? This is great, So I'm having all these crazy trips because of the medications that they're giving me, and
yeah,
I know they're trying to help me. It's not meant to be like to hurt me. So we're coming in probably late January.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, okay, Adam, we're going to start taking this ventilator out. You got to learn to breathe on your own. You got to pass these tests. I'm like, oh my God, what does that mean? You're going to take this out of my neck? They don't take it out. They cap you. So remember the toys the kazoos used to play with?
Oh yeah.
So they put almost a device like that's on you. They cap you. They turn the ventilator off. It's scary. So they do it in hour increments. So I got to mentally prepare to try to breathe on your own. I've been relying on this machine to pump life into me. I can't talk. Can't do anything. They're going to start. They're part of the recovery is you got to learn. They got to deflate this balloon in you, and you got to start to learn to breathe. Yeah, scary. So I'm like, okay, all right, we're doing this. You don't have a choice, and that's where again.
How was it first time out?
Scary.
Yeah.
Scary.
Were you able to do it? Were you able to breathe?
Yeah. And then you have to get over the hurdle. They're not going to let you die.
Yeah.
But it does go through your head. You have those thoughts of, am I going to make it? Am I going to be strong enough? And this is where the mental preparation kicks in, to where you gotta, physically, I can't do anything. Mentally, you gotta get over the hurdle. Slowly worked my way up. It wasn't easy. It was a process. Get to an hour and they put it back on. You're like, oh man, thank goodness. I needed that, because it's hard. They got to teach you how to do that. One of the worst things about it, though, is being on a trach and you have all these fluids they have to clean out. Unfortunately, they have to go through here. And the doctors don't do it. The nurses don't do it. There's a specific person that works on that machine. And oh man, they had this little device that would almost like flicker and make you cough. And I used to cough up the nastiest nuclear greenest film that would go back into it, and it hurt.
Yeah, you got it out.
You have to get it out.
That's,
but it's very painful. And I can remember one day my brother's in the room looking at me and I'm like, oh dude, do not let them do this. Please. This is super painful. And it's funny because it's this little thing, but it goes through your neck into your chest, and it makes you cough up all this phlegm. And it felt like, seriously, like 3 to 4 guys were just stomping on my chest as hard as they could. I'm coughing this stuff up. And it was the nastiest, grossest color you've ever seen.
Oh,
it was gross,
man.
And
so you're learning how to breathe. You're getting all this stuff pumped out of your body. They're using these tools and all these things. Now, at what point are you like? Do they have you start moving your hands? At what point does movement come back in the picture? So you talked about the sheath. So Guillain-Barré attacks the sheath of the nerves, and how's the recovery? Is it just like movement? Like what's the?
So my doctors talked about the full paralysis for me was head down.
Okay. Starts from the feet, goes up to the head.
Goes up to the head. And the recovery is...
And because it gets in the lungs, right?
Diaphragm.
Okay.
So my recovery was to recover from the face down. So you have to imagine it grows roughly 1 millimeter a day. So the furthest extremities from your brain are going to take the longest. So if you could think about a computer in your brain firing on to send a signal all the way down through your body, through your toes, feet are going to be the last thing they're coming. For me. Everybody gets hit differently. I was able to speak first. Once we got off the ventilator, I'll never forget, because I sounded like Kane. You remember the WWE?
Oh, yeah.
So one day they said, all right, we're going to do this. They cap you. They say, all right, you got to learn to talk. You have to learn how to talk. Okay.
And is it like, what does it feel like? Your mouth's like it's sludge?
It's amazing, because the cap's on you. You got this thing. The balloon's deflated, but if you remember the old school nicotine commercials where the lady would put the voice box to her, it's exactly what I sounded like. And you're trying to get words out, and it was, hello, how are you doing? You don't have just a clear voice. Your body has to learn to fire the muscles again. So I can remember my buddy Mike one day came by to see me, and he'd come by quite often, a couple times a week to check in on me. And my brother was in the room, and he's like, "Hey man, you should scare him." I'm like, "What do you mean scare him?" Mike, big tall guy, big burly dude walking in the room, same time every time. "Hey, how you doing, Adam? What's going on?" Just kind of would walk and do his thing, do his setup, and I'm laying there. I'm like, "Hey, dude," and the look and the jump, from a guy who's 6'3", 220, like, "Whoa, you talk!" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh my gosh," like, wow, what, like, just a complete state of shock. And this is probably 6 to 8 weeks after from the original being intubated. So, going 2 months without saying a word, you kind of can scare some people.
Yeah.
And it was nice. It was never a super long conversation, because you have to learn to turn it off, turn it back on. You got to get your lungs strong enough. And that's when we do the occupational therapy. It's like, hey, you got to learn to have food through your mouth.
Okay.
I didn't get to eat.
Mm-hmm.
So just off the feeding tube, no water.
What was that? Were you able to like just like oatmeal or something?
Nothing.
Zero.
Nothing.
Well, whenever you started learning how to eat, was it
much later? So what happens is because you have the trach, you have a muscle in here.
Mm-hmm.
You know when you have too much water, went down the wrong pipe.
Mm-hmm.
If I were to have any type of fluid, I can't have anything. If I had any type of fluid in my mouth and to drink it like that, I would drown.
Wow.
You can't do it. It's not, you're not allowed to do it. So I can remember, I'm like, oh man, I would love to have a Gatorade. My buddy brought a Gatorade, and he didn't know though. He's just somebody who's visiting. And I was like, kind of like, I am the Gatorade. I'm like, yeah, that's what I want. And he's just a new guy there. And my brother's like, you can't give him that. He's like, oh, he wanted it. He's like, no, I'm sure he wanted it.
Oh, did
he
like
cannot
nurses came in and stuff?
My brother did.
Okay.
My brother did. And he was just like, he can't have that. He's like, oh, no, he asked me for one. He's like, no, of course he's going to ask you for something, but you can't have that. I'm like, oh, dude, you don't understand. I haven't had water in my mouth for 2 months. I haven't had food. I haven't had anything.
So October 30 on the eve of Halloween, and then fast forward, you're like, what the heck's happening to me? You go from one hospital to another hospital. You're at 2 a.m. You go into this CAT scan machine. What's going on? You go into the hazmat room. Then all of a sudden, you go under. Now you can't talk. Now you're like your body can't move, and all these things. You're it. This is it. You're like, I'm gonna die. You're all this experience now going to, you have to learn how to breathe. You have to learn how to eat. You can't drink water. Now you have to learn how to drink water, and you walked in here today.
Well, we forgot too. My goal was to go home on March 1st. So
how'd that go?
In late January, they told me, hey, you're getting ready to leave now. I'm like, yeah, I'm going home. I beat my goal. Yes. I knew I could do this. I knew I was strong enough. Let's do it. And they're like, no, you're not going home. I'm like, well, where am I going to go? Like, you have to go to rehab. I'm like, what do you mean I have to go to rehab? I don't drink. What are you talking about? What's rehab? No, physical rehab. I'm like, oh, dude, you guys, I haven't seen my kids in months. I was in the depths of death to now just a peakness of happiness thinking I'm going to go home.
Oh my goodness.
Crush my goal.
At every turn, you're just like, this disease is just...
Virus, not disease.
Sorry, the virus is horrific.
Correct. So I'm like, where am I going now? Like, where in the hell am I going now, and why?
Yeah.
They sent me to Palomar Health in Escondido.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking to myself, this is even better. This place, great. I'm back into a hospital. Only 2 people to visit. Period. Nobody else. Peak
All day?
COVID. Ever.
That's it?
Ever. You cannot. I was like, oh great, I got to choose between my wife, my brother, my mom, my best friend. I have 2 brothers, so who? How do I make this choice? But I do have the ability to talk, so I'm okay with that. I'm like, all right, well, I just need my brother and my wife because I need to know what's going on. I'm in this hospital, or rehab facility, I should say. I'm like, great, what am I doing here? I can remember watching the Super Bowl. That was my birthday, by myself.
Who was it that year?
That was the Rams. I think it was Bengals.
Rams, Bengals.
The Rams.
Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Joe almost had it.
Nah, but Aaron Donald, man, he was a beast.
Yeah,
he was a beast.
Yeah.
But I can just remember that was my birthday. My brother came for the first half. I was like, get out of here, please. Go to your Super Bowl party. Like, I'm super depressed. I'm going from hospital to hospital thinking I'm going home. And like, dude, go home. Don't be with your family. You don't need to be here. It's like, trust me, I'm fine. But I'm depressed. It's very real to be away from my family for that long. And I just thought, all right, what do I have to do? What do I have to do to win? What is it? And I just laid there in my room and I thought, where, show me the lining. What is it that I need to do? I'm living in this hospital. I only have the ability to move from my waist up. I want to go home. Why am I here? Like let me go, God. Like, come on, let's do this. I had a great physical therapy staff. I mean, we were really good. His name was Andrew. He was the man. And I mean, he knew how to push my buttons.
Yeah.
He was good.
Yeah.
And I think we were a perfect fit for one another.
Yeah.
Because we would talk trash about basketball, football, all these different things.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I could do this. And he's like, dude, you're not going to beat me. I have this step challenge. I get to work here, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, who's this guy, dude? Yeah. You're poking the bear, dude. You were poking the bear. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, this guy, he says he can do more than me. Mind you, I don't have the ability to hold a fork. Feeding myself, I have to have assistance with. So I'm like, all right, how do I beat this guy? And for me, I'm one of those people, like I said, my cliches do come out. If you pray for rain, let me go back to I want to say it right, so I apologize. A man who has been through the storm does not fear the rain. So I have my analogies. I'm one of those guys. I really like to compete. So I've been through the storm. So as a man, if you pray for a storm, don't be scared to dance in the rain. Like, I'm that guy. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. You work here 40 hours a week. You get a paycheck. I live here. So I can remember asking the nurses, hey, get me in my wheelchair. And I get in the wheelchair and I roll down to the gym. The gym's closed. I'm not supposed to be in there. The doors are open. There's massive doors. It's not like a handle you can do. I roll myself in the gym. I grab a 1 pound weight. 1 pound. It's difficult to hold. And I'm just telling myself, go. These people say they can beat me. You got 40 hours of punching the clock. There's laws. I live here. I'm here 24 hours a day. I got to leave this place. So I'm pumping my 1 pound weights, thinking, what can I do? But I have physical therapy 5 days a week. And I told my doctor, who's phenomenal, and I would recommend him to anybody. I said, hey, I got to do 7 days a week. He goes, unfortunately, you can't. I'm like, no. You don't understand. I got to get out of here. He goes, I do understand. You cannot do 7 days a week. I'm like, doc, please, I live here. I want to go home. And then we had developed a great bond, and I found out he was a father. I'm like, you have to understand, father to father. And he kind of kicked me in gear and said, well, do something about it. He didn't say those exact words.
Right. But he's putting it.
But he gave it to me like, hey, you're the guy who talks about Kobe being the GOAT over a Michael Jordan. Put it to work.
Prove it.
I'm like, okay. All right. So I'd start rehabbing every day. I'm like, don't ever come to my room and let me kick you out and say, I don't want to go to rehab. I had another physical therapist. His name was Rob. He'd always come in and be like, hey, dude, listen, you can't say no. You said we need to push you to the limit. I said, all right, let's go. Every day, take me to physical therapy. Days off, I'd roll out and I'd sneak in there. I got in trouble, but what are you going to do? Kick me out? For what? Picking up a 1 pound weight? And it's frowned upon, but it's also, hey, we're gonna do this.
Yep.
And I told them anytime we could, get me on this. They had state of the art facility, man. They had everything, and they'd put me up on the bars, put me up in the bed that looks like Hannibal Lecter.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stand up, but I'm taped to it, but just to get the muscle memory going.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, all right, I can do this. It was torturous, but at the same time, I'm like, all right, the boys need their dad. This is who they need. Show them. Show the world, what you got. Every day, rehab. I can remember too, there was times where I would get really bored and I'd put my phone, connect it, roll out in my wheelchair. Sometimes it was frowned upon because I didn't have any clothes on, but this is a hospital.
Yep.
And
nothing they
haven't seen before. You get like, Adam, you can't come out here like that. You need to go back in there. But they kind of knew, like, I needed to be where I needed to be, but I've also brought that joy and I brought the other energy so the other patients can see, like, hey, what's this guy doing?
I remember talking with Mark when we were talking about your program, the colleague that I was training you with in collaboration, and your desire, your hunger, your force. I remember him specifically saying, I wish every client I worked with could have just an ounce of what Adam has, and the grit, the determination, the X factor. And that's it. And that's why it's 7 days a week, baby.
That's
no
right.
days off. And so so March 1, did you make it?
Yes, actually, I left the rehab facility on March 1st of 2022.
You hit your goal, your
I
vision
hit
board.
well, I hit half the goal, but that's also credit to the staff, the support, the love, the outreach, friends, family, prayer warriors, church families, colleagues. Like it's not all me.
Hmm.
You know, I do my part in a small role, but having that support and the love, I mean, just a simple text of, hey, you got this, or a motivational quote, a Bible scripture, a song, something. Because I was in a dark place, man. It's not it's not all me. It's hearing that I have so much love from other people. Like, we need you. We this all works because of you. If I quit, it doesn't work. And that's kind of what my theory was. If I don't work out, this does not work out.
Yeah. Let's go.
I have to.
So what'd they tell you when you left about walking?
That I left in a wheelchair March 1st of 2022, and I
Yep.
can remember my wife took me home. I went from wheelchair to slide board, and they said, you need to learn how to do everything. So I went to outpatient
Yep.
physical therapy, but that wasn't enough for me.
Yeah.
And that's when we got connected with Mark.
Yeah.
And Mark, I've always heard the name, and I've always heard the man, the myth, the legend.
Mark's a legend. Yeah.
And I've always heard the name because I have colleagues and friends that say, Mark is the man. You got to work out with Mark. And my buddy Kevin was like, hey, I'm sending Mark to your house. You need to work out with Mark. I'm like, who's this Mark guy? Like, come on. He's going to start showing up. In comes this, handsome Italian fella, jacked and tan.
Got
And
Jordans on.
dude looks, doesn't look a day over 35. He's probably in his 50s.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, all right, let's see what this guy's got. Man, he executed the perfect game plan for me. And I told him, I said, look, my goal is I'm home now, but I need to be dad. I need to be helping. I need to be doing stuff around the house. I need to get back to my life. Of course, Mark was like, listen, this is a one day at a time. This is small rocks. This is not, you're going to get up and start running. You're in a wheelchair. Slow down. But Mark's game plan worked great. He'd get me in the pool. He'd get me on my back. He'd like, listen, you got to trust me. I know what I'm doing. And that's when, one day Mark introduced us, and I think it's kind of, you and I are very similar individuals and driven as husbands, as fathers, as brothers, as a lot of the same cliches, like we say. I'm like, you give me an axe to chop down a tree for 6 hours. For the first 4, I'm sharpening it. I want to know, like, iron sharpens iron. This is what we do together. When we're clanging and banging in the gym, I got to know that you're going to bring out the best of me, because if it's not important to you to work hard and give it 100%, I'm not the guy for you.
Yeah, truly. We had our finding what works, and then Mark had a great game plan, and when we executed on it, we were able to have some Shania. The Oak Ridge Boys. Yeah, we had a little bit of the country music time. Shania took care of it.
Shania Twain loved it.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's all credit to the people. It's not luck.
yeah.
Well,
Truly.
I don't believe in luck. I believe in faith, and I believe when the preparation meets the opportunity. Like, how does this all come together? I had the desire to get home to my kids. We did, and it's not just there. And then it's you and Mark. Like, hey, what are we gonna do?
Yep.
Here's the physical aspect. I'm doing physical therapy. I'm reaching to all these different people, and we're connecting.
How was it? So go back to, how was it seeing your kids first time?
Ooh, man, I'm gonna tell you right now, like, I'm a big softie. I'm a softie, man. Like, the second I got to hold my kids, you gotta remember, I missed. I was gone for 123 days, gone without seeing your kids. 123 days to physically hold your small child. Couldn't do it. So to go that long and miss all the milestones for me, I don't get that time back.
Were you able to hold him when you?
They sat on my lap. I couldn't
Okay.
physically. I'm in a wheelchair, and I'd not feel comfortable holding
Yeah.
6-7 month old baby. No, and they're boys. They're boys. They're rough and tough,
The
and
bosses.
they're energy.
No.
So I didn't feel comfortable, but just to hold them, and man, I cried like a baby, and was so thankful, because it takes you back to when you got people injecting you with stuff, showering you, feeding you, and you're helpless. You can't do anything physically because this virus has attacked your body and destroyed you. But now you're on the other side. What are you going to do with it? How are you going to change it? How do you help somebody else? And that's, where I'm at now. I want to be the guy to go, hey, what is GBS? And working with the GBS Foundation now, I go and speak to these patients, I go and speak to these doctors about it. I know because when I was in that situation of when these people are going on ventilators, they go, oh, I can't imagine what you're going through. Guess what? I can, because I've been there. Oh, I don't know how you do that. I'm the guy.
My man. What would you say to anybody who's disease or Guillain-Barré specifically, they've been diagnosed and it's looking hopeless?
Most importantly is to reach out for help. And we've got access in 2025 to YouTube, Google, Instagram, TikTok. It's out there. The content of somebody is there that's battling the same thing you are. You're not the only one in this. And it's really to ask for help. I've never been one to say, hey, can you help me? But in a time like that, you need help, whether it's family, friends, outreach, perfect strangers. I mean, a perfect story for you that I would love to share and cut back to. When I was in the skilled nursing facility, my brother brought a colleague to come see me. He's like, hey, this guy's going to come in. I wasn't talking at this time. I'm like, okay, great. Here's a guy who's going to come see me half naked, and I don't even know who you are. What are you going to talk about? And he comes over, and I'm like, hey, like, okay, Eric, bring your friend in. Sure. Just got this trach in my neck here, so do whatever you're going to want. And, whatever you want, show me off to your friends. Guy leans over. He goes, hey, my name's Mike. I wanted to let you know you're going to be okay. And I can't speak. So in my mind, I'm like, how do you know I'm going to be okay? What are you, a doctor? That's not 20 years ago. I had GBS. I'm like, wow. You did? And I can only think this. I can't elaborate. Well, you had GBS. Okay. Well, what's wrong with you? You look fine. You look completely normal to me. He goes, yep, I was just similar to you, had 2 kids. I loved to surf. I couldn't do it. But now this is where I'm at. Go, okay. Fast forward from there. I'm standing in line at church one morning. I'm holding my youngest son, waiting for a cup of coffee. A couple old dudes in front of me chatting. Not thinking anything of it. And they go, hey, do you mind if our buddy cuts in front of us? He's coming to me to have coffee. I could care less, man. I'm at church. What do you think? I'm going somewhere? I got this guy. Like, I think you guys got somewhere to be. I'm standing right there. I'm talking from right here to where you are is the guy named Mike who came and spoke to me at the hospital. And I just looked at him like, wow, what are you doing here? We're at church.
Yeah.
And he's right there. And we just both looked at each other in a state of shock.
Yeah.
Crying, hugging, 2 grown men crying and hugging each other. Dude lives up the street from me. Goes to the same church as me. Knows my brother. And from what I was sharing with you guys, this isn't luck.
Yep. God's sovereign plan is different. Man, it's incredible.
Where does somebody show up in your life when you're at the worst to stand with you 2.5 or 3 years later, randomly? It's not luck. The story's written. It's my job to execute my role. So from here, what good am I going to do? I want to be the guy. I want to be the GBS guy that people reach out to. I am lucky enough to go and speak to people around, the U.S., and I connect with them via social media to motivate them, inspire them to know it's going to be okay, because I had somebody do that for me. That's the least I could do, is to let them know.
What a team player.
What we can do together.
Wow. That's incredible. It's incredible God gave you a new gift, a new lease on life, and you're here and you're able to. I mean, so many men crave the test, and you unfortunately had to go through it, not by choice, but look at you, persevered. And like you said, you're grateful for GBS and everything that it's given you, which is such an incredible perspective. I'm grateful to have the opportunity to sit down and to listen to your story. I don't know, lots of other folks are. So last parting words of advice, getting scripture and words for us as far as what you want to leave everyone with.
My thing would just be, love wins. And I only say that because with family, friends, faith, it always works out. We all are here just passing time. When the call comes, I don't know. That's not my job. My job is for you to be the best person that you can be. We look at so many little things in our life that seems such a problem. I don't have enough. You have plenty. Life doesn't always give you what you want. It gives you what you need.
That's right. Amen. And like you said at the very beginning, as it began, so it ends. The being prepared, be prepared for the action. So, oh man, great to have you, Adam.
Thanks, brother.
Man.
Appreciate it.